Hello YouTube friends, this is Barbara with Wigs and Fluff. Today I have on the Salsa wig by Raquel Welch. And this is in glazed vanilla. I like this color a lot. There's no dark in the top or anything like that. But it also is very similar to this color. This is the one I had on yesterday, actually, I think it was. And this is a Raquel Welch, and I think, I forget which one this is. But anyways, this is the Acclaim. This is the Acclaim, but you can see the color is very similar. But this one has darks in it, some dark, a little, and this one has none. So it's your preference. Excuse me. Anyways, I was going to tell you a story today. And this is the story of Jesus on the water. Many of you probably already know this story, but I'm going to tell it anyways. And it involves boats on the water. Well, Jesus had been preaching, and he said, guys, let's go over to the other side of the lake. This was the Sea of Galilee, which was not really a sea. It is a lake. I've been there, and I've been on that sea, actually. And they were in little boats similar to this one with a sail. And they had to have more than one boat because like only 3 people would fit 12 disciples. So they had to take about 4 boats to go across the lake. And it is a big lake. It's a pretty blue lake, but it's a big lake. And so when you're in, I don't know if you've ever been on the water. I don't know if you've ever been in a boat, but I've been in sudden storms, and it's terrifying when you're in a small boat or even a good size 20, 30-foot boat. It's terrifying, terrifying. And anyways, there they are. They're going across. Jesus wanted to go the other side. There wasn't much over on the other side of the lake, except for some people who didn't believe in Jesus. That's it. Just a village there. Just all it was a small village. But Jesus wanted to go on the other side. And of course, the disciples say, sure, let's go. So they all get into the 4 boats, and they go across, and it's a beautiful day. And they get right in the middle, and guess what? Yes, the skies grow dark. Clouds form, and it gets scarier and scarier and scarier. And the rain comes down, and the lightning and the thunder, and the waves are coming up over the boat. Guess what? I've been in the Sea of Galilee, and I had that happen to me on our tour group. We were out in the middle of the Sea of Galilee in one of these replica boats that were small, that kind of looked like a boat that they would have taken across. And it was terrifying. It was terrifying to be in that small craft. And we were all sitting there huddled together and praying. Because, I mean, in the middle of that lake, the Sea of Galilee, storms come up. It's almost its own little weather pattern in the middle of the lake there. Storms just come up, ferocious storms. So there they were in the middle of the lake, 4 boats going across to the other side to a little village that nobody ever heard of. So they're rowing, and the storm comes up, and it's loud, and thunder and lightning, and rain is pelting down, and the waves are coming up over the edge of the boat, and they're just terrified. And so they all grab hold of the little mast where their sail was, and they were just holding on and holding on and holding on for dear life. I thought for sure they were going to be swamped at any moment, and their boat was going to turn over, and they would drown. And they were looking around, and somebody was missing, and they were looking around, and it was Jesus. Where was Jesus? Well, they look at the back of the one boat, and there he is. He's sleeping on a pillow on the back of the boat. He had found a pillow back there. And he was having himself a nap. He had been teaching and preaching all morning, and he was tired. He wanted to snooze. And in the middle of the storm, Jesus was just asleep. And so his terrified disciples go and wake him up. Jesus, Jesus, what are you doing sleeping? Don't you see that Sky is dark. Don't you see that the waves are coming in, that we're about to be swamped? And he gets up and he looks at them and he says, what are you afraid of? And then he looks at the sky and he says, peace, be still. And guess what? The whole sea leveled out and it was flat, like a beautiful day. The sun came out, the sky was blue. And the disciples looked at each other and said, what is this man that even the wind and the sea obey him? And Jesus said to them, why did you fear? Did you not know that you were with the Son of God? Didn't you realize that? I was taking care of you the whole time, even when the waves were coming into the boat. But I waited to see what you would do, to see if you would have faith. So that's what God wants us to do. The first thing he asks us is, why are you afraid? Don't you know you're with the Son of God? And they knew that, but they were afraid anyway. So what Jesus wants us to do is to grow our faith. Grow our faith so that when difficult times come, we don't panic and we don't freak out like the disciples. They knew that they were with the Son of God. Nothing was going to happen. I don't think the boats were going to turn over and everybody drowned. God wasn't going to let that happen. If they'd have held on a few more minutes, I think they would have seen a miracle happen without God even having to wake up. Without Jesus even having to wake up, that's what I think. I think in a moment, he wanted to see how far it could go before they got scared, how far their faith would take them. They knew they were with the Son of God. They knew they were with Jesus. They had seen them practicing miracles, healing the sick, giving sight to the blind, paralyzed people getting up and dancing and walking. They'd seen all of that, casting out demons. They'd seen all of it. They knew who they were with. They knew very well who they were with. But they freaked out anyways. And I believe in another minute or two, everything would have been calm again, because Jesus wanted to see how far their faith would take them. And that's the story I have for you today. I want you to think about that. How far will your faith take you? At what point will you freak out and get scared and cry out, Jesus, Jesus, don't you care? Of course he cares. He's in control of the whole thing all the whole time. He was never not in control of that storm. And I believe in another minute or two, if they'd held on, everything would have been fine. Nobody was going to drown that day. Why would Jesus want to drown all of his disciples? No. Doesn't make any sense. If they'd have held on in another minute or two, everything would have been fine. So that's the lesson today. Hold on. Don't give up. Don't freak out. God is in control. Okay? I'll talk to you later.